Hey guys, what's going on? Adam Snyder here with Homemade Entrepreneur. So today I just want to go over some of my numbers, specifically the numbers from 2016, numbers from 2017. These are just my percentages as far as how much of my business was coming from these specific sourcing methods. Okay, as you can see over in 2017, step back a little bit, 2016 to 2017, I have them broken down a little differently. The reason for that is because I'm changing the way I run my business. What happened in 2016? First, the main thing that happened in 2016 was I got burnt out. I was tired of going to retail stores every single day to go find new inventory to sell. I'm not saying it's not a good problem to have. The problem that I had was I have these other businesses that I have to tend to. I have to manage my managers so that they can actually do the work they need to do and find the right people and get the right stuff done. In this video, I want to talk about why I'm changing the way I do things and why I'm breaking it down the way I am. So let's just jump into the numbers as far as 2016 and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so my numbers for 2016, 55% of all the income that I made was from sourcing from retail stores, online arbitrage, and thrifting. Okay? 55%. That was, well, for one, was a lot of work because except for the online arbitrage, retail arbitrage and thrifting, I had to actually prep all the stuff myself, which it's not a big deal. I'm not like complaining that it was a lot of work. What I didn't like was that I wanted to use other services or other people's their products or their company, whatever, and that's where I started getting into third-party prep and ship companies, and I talked about those companies in other videos, but if you want to check those out. Wholesale and private label is 43%. This is something that I want to change completely because in 2016 I think I started it's probably like 22 websites around wholesale or private label products. So they're not based around any wholesale, but as far as the private label products I think there's 20 some websites I created just in 2016 specifically to promote those products. Okay, so I really want to put more effort into that. And then pawn shops and yard sales was like 2%. It might have been a little bit less than 2%, but that's about what it was at. Okay, pawn shops are a great way to get some items that you just can't find anywhere else. Yard sales are a great way to find products that people don't know the value of. So they're really undervalued, and you can come in and pick them up for $1, 50 cents. Sometimes I'll find books. I'll find just like tubs of books for like $1, maybe $5 a tub, and so they'll come out to like 5 cents, maybe 25 cents a book. But if these are all textbooks, that's great. You can make some great money with that, especially $5. To risk $5, my average profit per book was $7.63, I believe, for 2016. So what that tells me is I can risk that $5 because if I just found one book, history tells me I should be able to make my money back just in one book. So let's jump over my new strategy, how I'm going to move forward, and why I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so what you're probably seeing here, private label and wholesale obviously are the big ones. Private label is actually a little bit more than wholesale. The reason why I want to put more effort into private label is because I'm creating my own brand. Something that if I wanted to, I could sell to another company. If I wanted to, I could take that brand, take those products and pitch them to Walmart, pitch them to Target, pitch them to Toys R Us, stores like that. Okay? Even to Macy's or JCPenney's, or the list can go on and on. But what you need to understand is private label, you can do that. With wholesale, that's not the option. You don't have that option because you do not own that product. You are maybe a authorized distributor or dealer or seller, but you are not authorized to pitch that product to Walmart. Pitch that product to some other store. Can you sell it to another store and become more of a distributor? Yes, you can. But that's not the whole goal with wholesale. It's a great option. I know a lot of people that were selling on Amazon and they just moved over to become a distributor for that company, and you can make more money. But it's not always the case. Okay? Private label is where you want to be. Okay, let me back up for a second. Private label is where I want to be. Private label and wholesale, that's where I want the bulk of my income coming from. Because like I said, when I was talking about 2016, especially right here, with OA, with wholesale and private label, I can get the product, send it to a prep and ship company, a third-party prep and ship company. They can do all the work for me, send to Amazon, and I never have to touch the product, which is great. As far for somebody like me, I would rather take a little bit less profit per item, but to completely have that freedom to do whatever I want to do, because now I have so much more time. Because to me, time is very important. The reason why time is so important is because I have other businesses I need to take care of. I have other things I want to do, things I haven't even started yet. Things for 2017 are goals of mine that I want to fulfill. I want to succeed at those goals. But I can't do that if I don't have the time. That's where these three are actually going to give me time. So, what is that? 95% of my business is going to give me time. As far as my Amazon FBA business. So less than 5% is going to be retail, arbitrage, and thrifting. And less than 1% is going to be pawn shops and yard sales. The reason for that, the amount of money you can make at a pawn shop, it's decent. The amount of time it takes to search through the pawn shop to find the items you want and then negotiate. And then if they have to put you in their system because it's a pawn shop, it all adds up. So something that I've been asked quite a bit lately is, why am I switching over from what I was doing in 2016 and what was working to moving over to this strategy right here? Now, I've only mentioned this to probably maybe 15 or 20 people that I've done coaching with, but the reason I want to switch it over is because I want to have that freedom to do whatever I want. The reason why I started this YouTube channel, for the first reason why, was because I wanted to teach people how to do exactly what it is that I'm doing. The second reason was why I named it the Homemade Entrepreneur, because a lot of people were calling me the Homemade Entrepreneur before that, but the reason why I really wanted to name it that is because you can do all your stuff from home. You don't need to be at a thrift store or a retail store. Okay? I don't need to be at a pawn shop or a yard sale to make money. By doing this, I can do all that from my home. I don't have to even come to the office, which is perfect. If I want to do it out of a hotel room, I can. Okay? Let me give you an example. My most recent private label product, I did all the research out of a hotel room. I contacted three suppliers, actually negotiated with one of them over the phone not while I was driving, but while my brother was driving. So I was able to do all the negotiations in a spot on the road where most people would not be doing any work. They'd be sitting there watching whatever was going by, watching whatever was in front of them. That's all they'd be doing. They'd almost be wasting their time because they're sitting in a car. I wasn't. I was able to negotiate my prices, negotiate my minimum order quantity, and that product should be here very soon. This product, the sample product, should be here very soon. Okay? Stuff like that. You can't do that with every other business. You definitely can't do that with retail arbitrage. Can't do that with thrifting. Pawn shops, yard sales, it's just not possible. Okay? I switched the way I want to source because I'm realizing that the amount of time I spent on these different things costs me money. Every time I do one of those things, it costs me money because I'm spending so much time inside of a store, whether it's pawn shop or yard sale, whatever. Spending so much time inside those stores, it's actually cost me money. I'm losing money because I'm not focusing on my big three. Okay? As far as my online arbitrage, why I'm keeping it 20% is because I'm not doing all the research on that. If you haven't followed me for very long, then you obviously you don't know exactly how I find my products. What I do, a lot of these are bundles, which I've been ordering. They're just replenishable bundles that I've been ordering for months, if not a year or longer. But a lot of these are just one-off items that, not one-off items, they're like one-off deals that the store has a sale, so I'm gonna pick it up at the sale price and be able to make the profit. But I'm not finding those myself. These are things that actually have 2 virtual assistants out of the Philippines that they do all the work for me. They figure out which items are profitable, which items are not, and they send me a list of profitable items. That's not something, I didn't create that. I'm just utilizing virtual assistants because they're out there. If you don't have a virtual assistant for whatever it is you're doing, I'd highly recommend getting one. They are very inexpensive. They are very productive. People out of the Philippines, people out of India, those are my 2 favorite. Not only because they are, so people out of India, I think it's like $360 or $400 a year is like their average income. Okay? I'm not saying go to them because they're cheap. I'm saying because they will work hard. There's a lot of people in the world that will work hard. What I've found out is people from the Philippines and people from India will work extremely hard, especially if they are given the opportunity to work and make, $10, $15, maybe $20 a day. They will work very hard for you because there's nowhere out there that they're going to be able to get that exact income, especially from their country. Now the Philippines is a little bit different. I think they get paid like, normally I pay $5 an hour. I think they get paid like two something an hour is roughly what they get. So I usually pay $5 an hour and it goes very quick. You can make some great money. Okay? I'm not saying take advantage of the people out there. I'm saying give them the opportunity because when they are given the opportunity, they will work harder than anybody else I've ever seen. So, one thing I wanted to leave you with as far as my Amazon FBA business and as far as yours as well. First, if you have not downloaded the new Amazon seller app, I'd highly recommend you do that. Today is February 13th. The new app, the update actually just came out today. I've spent about 2 hours or 3 hours just messing around with it, seeing what it does. And they have some great additional features. So definitely check it out if you haven't done so already. But one thing I want to talk about as far as my Amazon FBA business and yours as well is that people are out there saying that you can't make money, that in 2017 Amazon FBA is just going to be, it's just going to be a complete waste of time because everything's being restricted. Unless you have private label or wholesale accounts, you cannot sell this stuff. Well, let me kind of back you up right there. Just because an item is becoming restricted or you cannot sell it does not mean there's not other items out there that you can sell, make just as much money or more. I remember one of my friends, I talked to him about 2 months ago. He was suspended. He couldn't sell, or he was restricted. He couldn't sell Nike shoes, and that was a big deal because he sold a bunch of them, but he also sold a bunch of other stuff as well. He's big into toys and clothing as well. But he was always wondering what would happen if he was restricted and couldn't sell Nike. Well, now that actually happened. He couldn't sell Nike. What's he gonna do? Instead of just figuring or thinking, okay, I'm screwed, I'm not gonna make any money, what do I do now? He put his head down. He started doing more with toys. He started doing more with clothing. He got into tools and home improvement, and now he's selling about $200,000 a month in tools and home improvement because not only is he doing retail arbitrage, he got into wholesale with some bigger brands, and now he's making more money than he ever did before selling shoes. So he took that negative and turned it into a positive. which I highly recommend for you as well. Anytime I see a brand restricted for me, I'm not worried about that brand. It's just in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to deal with that brand anymore. I'm just going to move on to something else. Anytime I see that on the shelf, no big deal. Don't need to scan it. Move on. It's that simple. You need to make your Amazon FBA business as simple as possible, and I guarantee you're going to see more success in 2017. So, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. You can put them in the comment section below. I'll try to help you out the best I can. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe today. If you like this type of video, you like just seeing a little bit more into my business, what's really going on in my mind, hit that thumbs up button, and that will show me that you guys really enjoy this type of content, but you also want to see more about my business, in general. So, talk to you guys soon, and you guys have a great day.